Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. Our party is just about to enter the brackish fen.
Once again, into the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we spent most of the day walking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's see how much movement we have left. So maybe we can get lucky and roll one encounter in the swamp, but 10, 17. Can't move in the swamp, but I guess we're just going into the swamp. I don't think we want to actually end the day in the swamp. So we'll probably skirt the edge of the swamp and make camp in the woods. Maybe heading... I don't know.
You are in luck.
This direction, or maybe just wandering back and forth along the edge of the swamp in this hex. Yeah.
You are in luck. My encounter table says there's only a 5% chance of running into a two-headed troll, and you have rolled a 7% chance, which means you do not see a troll, but you see signs of recent troll passage. There is a quarter of a deer that is stuck in a tree, and not in a creature dragged it up here and ate it, but part of it's like a haunch that is impaled on a broken tree branch, maybe 15 feet up, that looks like it was tossed there somehow.
Yikes.
And then looking around in the area nearby, in the soft earth, you can see the large imprint of a heavy troll. You assume to be two-headed. In theory, it could be one-headed.
Yeah, I don't have tracking, but I think my folklore is enough to recognize the troll feet and the disregard for life.
Mm-hmm.
And trolls love deer, so
Mm-hmm.
we put all that together. Landmark. Yeah, no tracking, so maybe I'll roll a half my whiz with monster penalties to see if I can follow the trail a little ways.
I think that's great.
And then if that doesn't seem fruitful, I will go for, I'll maybe do my clairvoyance or something. No. So I think I find the scene of the struggle here or whatever, clearly a troll was eating a deer, but I can't figure out where the tracks go.
Mm-hmm. They go sort of into the water, and then you quickly lose them. And in theory, you could follow them, but it's just wading through the water is such a pain in the ass. And trolls are so big that it makes it much easier for them to move on through.
Yeah. So I cast my crystal ball, which transforms into an eyeball.
Yes.
And it goes hovering over the swamp in the general direction that the footprints disappeared.
Yes.
And we go looking for trolls.
With the clairvoyance spell, which can move over water way faster than you can, does it have your same movement rate? Does it say? Does not dictate a movement rate.
Twice the caster's movement rate.
Ah, there we go. Then
Probably can't run or anything, but moves at movement rate 24. So is it 240 feet or 240 yards?
240 yards. With
Zoom.
the clairvoyance, you can make another check. This will allow you to cover a larger area more quickly, but it does have sort of a limited vision. I think you can see only 120 feet. So you can follow the tracks
We're using half my will. Well, yeah, roll a 12. We're using half my will. It's a failure.
Yes. So you can see that the tracks do head, obviously, into the swamp, but they don't head directly in the direction that your walkways are. It actually angles a little bit closer to this, a little bit more westward.
Yeah.
So you can't follow it for more than maybe 500 feet or so, but it does appear to be heading towards the sea.
I guess I'll bring the eyeball back. Well, I mean, I've cast the spell. I might as well keep it going. So I will scout around with the floating eye for a while and see if I happen upon any caves or anything. Do I know where trolls reside? Is folklore the skill that seems like it'd be associated with that?
Yeah, give me that folklore check.
Oh no.
So I think with this, you have sort of conflicting reports. The trolls you know about the most about are the ones in the Red Hills, and when it comes to swamp trolls, you feel uncertain that the trolls like to live in caves really applies here, because the swamp probably doesn't have a lot in the way of caves. The brackish fen is brackish because it's just about at sea level. So while it does get plenty of water from that northward river, it's also like mixed with all this other stuff. And so the ground never really raises that high because it's all just about, I guess I should say it's at sea level because it's the ground doesn't go that high. So there's not a lot in the way of caves about.
Yeah, so I look around, maybe a thicket or like a cluster of bushes that it might wade in. Maybe a big pool. A bridge that it could live under. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. So I guess barring tracking the troll, I'm sort of scouting around for somewhere that a troll might want to live. We'll see.
Okay. So next couple of days, we'll just be looking around for a troll.
No, it'll be hours, right? Is that what you said?
I was saying days, like it would take a few days to search the swamp. Did you have a more immediate
This
plan?
is a clairvoyance spell. This only lasts concentration. I'm not going to spend days seeing through a floating eye. No, I will be scouting around a couple of miles into the swamp here, looking to see if I see anywhere that looks promising as like a troll hideaway.
You do find some thickets, but once you get your little crystal ball eye in there, you find naught but like sleeping raccoons and skunks.
Then I will take off my shoes and roll up my feet, I think. Take the deer haunches. This is probably like right at the end of the day. I'll tell my apprentice to start making camp. As a latch-stitch effort this evening, I will wade into the fen, waving around the deer haunches, shouting, "Here, trolley, trolley, trolley. Here, trolley, trolley, trolley." Did I say I roll at my feet?
You did.
I gird my loins. I hike up my robes. And head on in.
Excellent. You wade into the swamp, a soy following behind you.
She doesn't come in. I told her to make camp, so I think she waits on the shore.
Cool.
Unless she really wants to wade into the swamp.
You call out to the troll with your taunting voice as a soy makes camp. You see a gator or a croc of some kind sunbathing on one of the dry patches of land, but that's about it.
Draws this to a close as I return to shore, avoiding the gator.
Soy's made camp. It's done. She's done all right. I guess she brought a tinderbox with her, so easy enough to build a fire. Easy enough to move some brush around to make some sort of shelter from the wind and some sort of cover from natural predators.
I'll see if the troll's hideaway is considered a landmark, if it is immovable. And I will pull the gators of the swamp. Let's be within 1 mile, so maybe a few land creatures as well. If for the location of the troll's lair.
does say creatures and not people.
Yeah. It'd have to be a landmark in the creature's mind, though, and I have to word it properly-ish, right? So, like, the troll's lair has to be a location.
I think creatures are territorial, and they understand the concept of my territory, your territory. That is pretty basic level instincts. My cat has that level of instincts. I do believe the other creatures of the swamp probably have that level of instinct as well. And a troll's hideaway is definitely the sort of place that they would want to stay away from. So I think you can get a returned location.
I think it's a direction, right? Like,
right.
Me.
I don't think it gives you distance. It just gives you relative direction.
Yeah, so you have to like recast it to triangulate.
Yes.
Or just beeline it that direction.
Right. So the direction that you get is west-northwest.
Can you draw a line?
Somewhere like this.
Okay. Before bed, maybe I'll wait for morning, I think. So I think we'll camp here, we'll rest. I'll see if I can gain some NP. And in the morning, I think I'm going to try and fabricate us a little raft to pull through the swamp on.
Yeah, fabricates the perfect spell for that. You can make out of the nearby wood an easy raft or a small boat or something.
Yeah, but I think I'll rest first, just in case a gator tries to eat my raft in our sleep. I can get good sleep as long as it's dry. I think I can attempt to regain MP. If it like rains on us or something, but next to a fire with food and water, I think I can regain some MP while camping.
Yeah, that would be good sleep. So you'd be active and good sleep, so you just get one die.
Is the night uneventful? We camp several hundred feet from the swamp, probably like on the slope leading into the swamp.
The first half of the night is fairly uneventful. You get woken up partway through the night by your apprentice, who has heard some like strange shriekings coming from the swamp. Make me what do you call it? Folklore check, please.
Sure. Go.
You're not sure what it is. You hear it again. It sounds like this. I'm just going to move the mic away because it's going to be a little loud. Like a... coming from deep in the swamp, and then it like goes quiet again.
We'll wait, and if it doesn't get closer, we'll ignore it.
Yeah, it doesn't,
I'll stay awake for a few minutes, and...
few minutes pass, it doesn't come up again. You snuggle back down to go to sleep, and a few minutes, 20 minutes later, she shakes you awake again because she hears the sound one more time, and you can see like she's standing with her dagger out near the fire,
Is it louder?
Eyes wide.
Is it getting closer?
No, it's just sort of this weird noise out from the middle of the swamp.
Well, rouse me if it gets closer.
Okay. The rest of the night passes uneventfully. Asoy doesn't get much sleep. The strange noises of the swamp bring back memories of the monsters that she fought there before, leaping on their backs. And, she'll be a little groggy the next day. That is the life of an apprentice.
She doesn't actually need any MP. How am I doing? 8. Better than nothing. Brings me to 57, and then I think I need to spend 25 to fabricate a boat. A raft, I think. And I fabricate a raft, and we head north by northwest.
Excellent. I assume you can fabricate a pole with your raft, or at least find something to pull you by, since rowing is maybe a little awkward.
Yeah, I will be pulling. Is my staff insufficient?
Oh, your staff would work well. Yeah. Occasionally, I don't know how long your staff is, but occasionally you might find that it's the water's a little deep here, but you can sort of poke around and make do with your staff.
If I find a bigger stick, that sounds great.
Bigger stick
fabricate
diplomacy.
actually doesn't say. I could fabricate a better pole as well, right? It doesn't say that it needs to be one thing, right?
Ooh.
It's like the AOE is a cubic foot, so like creating a raft and a stick, as long as you have enough rounds to do so.
Yeah, I assume that you could turn a tree just into planks of wood that are each individually separate.
Well, I'm turning trees into a raft.
Right, but that means you could turn a tree into a raft and a pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 10-foot pole.
And you can 10-foot pole your way through the swamp in that direction. In the course of the day, you will see some of those crocodilians out in the water. They don't seem to bother the raft too much. Most of the time, they spend just sunbathing or floating on the surface, doing their Amalog impression. Unless you are heading out this direction. With a raft on the water, you can go quite a bit faster than the walking rate through the swamp.
Maybe, assuming that there's waterways. I feel like, yes, I still feel like swamp movement rates would apply. Like, just because I'm going to be like taking a weaving path, won't I?
You will.
Unless it's
you will be slower than walking on flat land, but faster than having to pick your way through a swamp, I think. Because, yeah, you're not like filling your boots up with water. You're not getting stuck in the mud. You're not having to scout locations. You can just kind of continually, gently pull yourself. Maybe it's a little like 50% faster or something.
So maybe I can go 2 hexes instead of 1 or something like that without force marching.
I think so.
Kind of wind up heading up this way.
Yeah. You don't come across the troll on this day, but you do come across a spatial anomaly. You find a hill where there is a creek running from the swamp, like up the hill. And it's not a big hill. It's maybe 5 feet across left to right. But water runs up one side of the hill and then down the other side of the hill from the swamp, just, feeding back into itself.
Yeah, I think we land up this hill. Maybe it's late enough in the day that we're thinking about resting. What do you make of this, Asoy?
She eagerly casts one of her 2 spells. Detect magic. Wah! Will gaze at the area, cock her head awkwardly to the side, and say, I have no idea. There's sort of magic in the region, but it's not defined. It's not one school. It's, I don't know what it is.
She doesn't have did she fail to figure out the school?
No, she rolled a 10 or she rolled a 1 on a d10.
Really? So
yeah.
Okay. What, how powerful is it?
It is, it is faint. Dim, faint, moderate, strong, overwhelming, yeah.
Is the water magic, or is perhaps something about this, space enchanted?
It's not the water, she says confidently. I can see that the magic emanates from the hill itself.
I've stepped onto the land. I pick up the dirt and run it through my fingers.
Feels pretty
looking
normal.
like I'm studying it or thinking deeply when I really don't know what I'm doing. But maybe
classic.
It will trigger her to be like, is it the earth itself or is it something underneath the earth? I don't know.
She takes a few moments and then confidently says to you, we should dig up the hill. I don't know if it needs to be done today, but we should dig. Maybe there's something under here changing this. I get magic coming from the mound, but maybe it's actually something under the mound. I believe my magic will detect things up to 3 feet, so there could be something buried here.
I do my arcanology, and I think I'm qualified to undertake a dig, an expedition, if you will. What would you call it? Archaeology, arcanology, same. So I'm investigating this site to be like, is this a site of some ancient magic? Right? Did a wizard do something here that left its mark? Do I see any signs of that? Or does this seem natural? Could also do a spellcraft to identify the spell, but it seems, I don't know. Yeah. What does my arcanological training tell me?
Your arcanological training tells you that this is probably not related to a site of some former wizard. The most important, most powerful wizard of the area, you've already found their lair, their workshop, which is kind of near to this spot, but definitely not here. And it wouldn't make sense to have like a small little mound near the workshop where there's some sort of magical effect. So either this is an unknown effect, or there is something buried here.
Okay. I nod thoughtfully. Does this seem like a safe enough place to sleep?
The area is not
like a
large
5-foot
enough for
mound.
you guys to sleep. The safety seems more or less the same as everything else around here, but the surface area of the land is not large enough for the two of you to comfortably sleep here.
Well, 3 feet's not all that deep.
Digging time? Side
Digging
quest?
time. Yes. I think Devon gets to digging.
Okay.
And perhaps over the course of the work, he will have some insight into conserving magical energies. Sometimes it's easier to just do things the old-fashioned way, especially when you're out in the field, and you might need your magic for a fireball or something if a troll comes along. So digging and digging. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta dig a diggity dig.
Yeah. Sometimes you do have to dig. So
Devon
you...
is, strong and young and fit, so he digs.
Now, the creek
Stick.
runs up and over the mound. Do you want to dig where the water flows, or do you want to dig on the side of the water flow?
I will use my best judgment. So I might tunnel in from the side to see if I could. So I'll try and triangulate 3 feet, 1 to 3 feet down is my guess as to whatever the source of this anomaly is. If it seems like it's easiest to dig through the creek bed, I might do that. If it's rocky, or if something else seems to get in my way, I may come in from the side and try to dig in underneath the river, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you want me to roll something too.
I think it makes the most sense to... I don't know. Just pick one.
What's the bottom of the river like? Is it rocky, or is it just silt, or
There's a little bit of rock on it. And then it's sort of, how do you say? So that it's an earthen mound coming out of the swamp. The creek runs up and over it, kind of creating a little bit of a trench. And in the trench, you can see some rocks and some gravel.
Okay. So I'll come in from the side through like the sandy mound. I may bump into sand and rocks once I get in a foot or so, but I start doing it. Roll my sleeves up and just dig with my hands. I'm careful not to like cut myself or anything, but I just sort of scoop earth away, use the butt of my staff to clear a little bit away, pull out rocks, and use the rest of the afternoon to dig.
You can dig in, and as you get maybe a foot underground or so, the magic effect just stops, and the water just drains to the sides and stops flowing up and over. It just sort of...
I break the magic or something, and the...
something like that, yeah.
And the water spills down.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I step back. Do you have the energy for another spell?
She does. She only took Detect Magics. Did not think she would need a Read Magic out here. So
she's second level. She has.
I think after the encounter in the other place, she leveled up once. So she'll throw down another Detect Magic and look around, and sure enough, the magical effect is gone.
Intriguing. I like wipe my hands off. What do you make of this? Do you have a theory?
She sits in rugged contemplation and kills her intelligence check. What is her base int? I think it's like 16. Yeah. So she rolls a 35 on her intelligence check and comes up with a real good idea.
So I think maybe that's like a non-proficient spellcraft check or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which I could have rolled myself with proficiency, but she's got to learn.
Magic takes energy to reshape the world around us. But as I understand it, there is a certain finite amount of this energy somewhere out there in one form or another. We might burn wood to create heat, but we destroyed the wood in the process. Magical energy must have a source. Maybe this is some sort of byproduct of magic being cast in the area, or magic being cast nearby, and this has been either a draining of energy that allows the water to flow up instead of down, or a transplanting of energy. Like when you burn wood, you create heat, but also smoke comes out as a side effect. Maybe this is a side effect of magic being cast elsewhere, or being cast here.
You have a sense where we are?
This spot? What do you mean?
Devon points like northeast.
Mm-hmm.
Drexel's
Soy and the DM
was,
both are confused.
Drexel's workshop is maybe 5 miles that way.
Oh.
I suspect great powers were incanted here in the past. Or maybe this place represents a thinness between worlds.
She bobs her head excitedly. Yes, that could be it.
This could be a good site for some arcaning. I stick my staff in the ground, or perhaps we've disrupted the powers and it's gone. From this vantage on top of the hill, I look around to see if I can see any other anomalies, any other hills or anything else that looks out of place.
Nope.
In eyesight.
Everything else seems just to be ordinary swamp.
Is the magic gone? I'll ask one last time. Like she cast another deck magic and it's not there.
It's not there. It's definitely gone.
Would have been interesting to attempt to harness. I didn't. I suspected something more permanent.
Next time.
I will pull our raft up onto the island. Well, I think it's too dangerous to travel at night. I don't expect we'll be getting much rest, but we should probably wait to move until first light. And I think we kind of just like hunker down on the raft on this little sandbar and keep watches. I'm guessing this isn't going to be good sleep, but she can get some rest while I keep watch and stay up most of the night.
Yes. Between the ever-present possibility of rolling into the swamp and the increased danger around here, sleep will just be... It'll get you enough rest to function the next day, but not enough to gain MP back.
Yeah.
And no encounters for us, unfortunately. Just, strange noises from the swamp in the distance. But nothing comes of it. And the next day.
Yeah, I think we're heading over yonder.
As you pull about on your boat for the day, you don't come across anything that looks trollish. You don't see it lurking above the waterline or above any of the plants on the horizon. You can pull into that square up until you get to a point where you can see the ocean and realize you're near the end of the swamp without sign of troll nor lair.
I'll cast another locate landmark and see if any of the creatures in this within a mile of me know the location of the troll's
They
lair.
do. And you get a direction that is like this.
Okay. How are you feeling, Asoy?
Excited? Capable? Ready to continue?
Right. Devon had considered like diverting this way to where there's like a path where there might be a better spot to camp. But I guess instead, we're heading here. And
Alrighty.
looking for the troll.
Looking for the troll. And sure enough, you come across big, fat troll footprints. Maybe half a mile further, you push past some reeds, and there's this big troll footprint. And on this next little dry spot of land, a big troll footprint. Both of them headed northward.
Look there. I point to the footprints, and we pull our way north.
Yeah. Following these footprints, you find a section where they like trod over a piece of earth and then disappear into the water. And this whole time they've been roughly going straight north, and they like go up and over, down into the water. And then as you pull to the next bit of dry land, they don't show up on the other side. And you can pull around and kind of take a look at some of these dry patches nearby and find that the footprints lead into this area, but do not lead back out. And footprints here don't last a super long time in the marsh. There's enough activity and moisture that, the ground will level itself out pretty quickly. So these footprints can't be more than a week old at most.
I think we sit and wait on our raft for a bit, hoping to ambush the troll as it comes out. But if like an hour passes, so I think we kind of circle and like try and find a good stable spot. I don't know if there's like a bunch of reeds that we'll pull up against, or like a tree that we lean against, and kind of wait and watch. Look for any bubbles.
Yeah, you do find bubbles. Comes out.
Are they
You
pretty
know-
consistent? Like, does it seem like there's just like a steady stream of bubbles, or
No, it's quite inconsistent. You watch a spot and you see like a whole trickle of bubbles, and then it stops, and then maybe like 15 minutes later, the same spot produces a bunch of bubbles again. Did you want to? You have thoughts?
This has been like an hour or so of us kind of pulling around this area.
Mm-hmm.
I have many thoughts. So I have a amulet of water breathing. So if I'm feeling insane, I could dive down there. I'm guessing this is like a troll's lair, or like it's an underwater lair or something. I don't know if there's like an underground cave, or maybe trolls can just breathe water. I hope it's not an aquatic troll, because those things are nasty, if I recall. Right? Don't they have some? They're like, they've got some like save versus death effect or something horrifying. Scrags, right? Yeah, I can't remember what was nasty about them. Maybe they weren't that nasty. I thought there was a kind of troll that had like a save versus death style effect or something like that.
I can't think of one that does.
Yeah. Start blasting.
What are you gonna blast?
The troll's house.
You're just gonna start like throwing lightning bolts into the water?
Yeah, something like that. Well, how much MP do I have? Not much. Got one 5th level spell. Well, fuck it. We're conjuring a water elemental and sending it down into the troll pit. So I like get some sand. I think I like use the pole to like dig up some silt from the bottom of the swamp. Crush it into my fists, scoop up some water, sort of swirl it around, and then rising from the water of the fen conjures a water elemental.
Excellent.
It is an 8 hit die water elemental. I've got 1 round of controlling it before it starts getting a chance to turn on me. And I send it down into this pool to go choke me out a troll and fish me a troll. How does controlling an elemental work? I don't see through its eyes, right? I just kind of like command it, but it feels kind of like you're like controlling it.
You give it an order like it's, a servant in your household, and it will obey it as best as possible. You don't need to have a language with it, so it must be some sort of like, thought concept. So you can say like, go after the troll, and it will understand the intent of your meaning.
It's got 5 to 7 intelligence, so I think it can understand that I want it to like choke a troll and drag it up to me alive. Elemental.
So it descends into the water.
Is of the water.
True. Water
Elemental
becomes
water.
fused with spirit of creature. And the elemental will quickly find the troll. You'll see bubbles stir up and water churn in the area.
Let's see. Water elementals appear as a high-crested wave. Its arms appear as smaller waves, one thrust out from each side of its body. Arms ebb and flow, growing longer or shorter as the elemental moves. Two orbs of deep green appear out from the front of the wave, serving as its eyes. Rarely speaks, but their voice is heard in the crashing of waves on rocky shores and the howl of an ocean gale. Strikes, it lashes out with a huge wave-like arm, dealing 5 to 30 points of damage.
That 5d6?
Yeah. Oof. Most effective in open water, can do battle on dry land close to the water. Yeah, but it's basically underwater. I mean,
it needs a +2 weapon to be hit. If a creature has 6 +2 or more hit dice, it can hit as a +2 weapon.
Okay, so I think a troll can do damage to the water elemental.
I think so. I'm just checking troll hit die right now.
Are you comfortable just describing what's going on underneath the water as if we could see it, even though Devon can't? Like I can roleplay Devon's confusion if the troll wins and comes and eats me or something like that.
That's perfect. Yeah. So the troll,
the water elemental descends into the pool, probably surprising the troll. Like the water elemental becomes the water and then like lashes out at the troll if it's under there.
Mm-hmm.
Is the troll describe for us what we would see if we got a cameraman down there in the troll's lair. Is it in like a little is it on land or is it completely submerged in the water?
It has a underground lair with like a dome sort of built into it that serves as an air pocket that it will how it gets fresh air down there, you're not entirely certain, but it does have like an underwater, like a beaver dam sort of hidden underwater lair. And
how many feet? I assume the water elemental can get there in one round.
Oh yeah, the entrance to the lair is at most like 6 feet down, and then it like goes over and under and back up again. So it's maybe like 50 feet total from your position.
Okay. The water elemental can fight within 60 yards of water, so it's fine. 1 point of damage is subtracted. Let's see. And 1 point of damage is subtracted from each die of damage they inflict out of water. So it will do 66. Wait, 5 to 30. 5d6 minus 5 if the troll is on land. If it's within 5 feet of water, I feel like the water elemental could be in water and lash out at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the part of the entrance to the troll is watery, so it can just lurk there or like grab the troll and drag it back into the water.
Okay. Would you roll a surprise?
Yeah.
Okay. Or if you need to familiarize yourself more with elementals, go ahead.
No, I got it. So it's going to be a d10 minus 2 for surprise because it's unlikely that the troll would be ready for this. So it is disturbed but ready to defend its lair.
So should we roll initiative or is there an ambush round?
I think there's an ambush round, but the troll is not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So would you make me an attack roll? 12. It's an 8 hit die creature. Thaco 12 plus 8 to hit.
Thaco 12 is plus 7 hit or is it plus 8?
Plus 8.
Okay. RD20 plus 8 is a 17.
Check control AC, but I'm pretty certain that's a hit. Two-headed troll, AC 4, so 16.
Okay. And so 2 watery appendages thrust into this poor troll's lair and grab it by the throat. We're considering this in contact with water?
Yes.
So it takes 21 points of damage.
Jesus Christ. And the troll has 10d8 hit points. And not a good 10d8. Actually, that's a bad 10d8. The napping two-headed troll, disturbed from its slumber, has its legs gripped and is like dragged partially into the water, flailing about, grabbing onto the land to slow its descent.
Roll initiative. And elementals are 1 foot tall per hit die. So this is an 8-foot water elemental. It is a large creature. I think it's a D10 plus 5 for weapon speed.
D10 plus 6.
Okay, 6. So
they
we go
go
at the same time.
simultaneously. Yes. The troll reaches into the water and begins its series of shredding attacks at +9 to hit.
And the water wraps around the troll. Oh, there is a 5% chance. Let me roll.
Ooh, your 5% first. Yes, please.
No, I don't roll it. No.
So,
All right, so a 17 will hit the troll, or let's see, 5d6 is 14, barely enough to wrench the troll into unconsciousness. But does the troll take down the water elemental at the same time?
let's see.
I have AC 2, so AC 18.
So the first
So
claw
16 is a
misses.
miss.
Second claw hits. Bite hits, and second bite misses.
Oh yeah.
So we're
we
doing
33
1d12
HP.
plus 1d4 plus 4. It'll do 9 damage to the water elemental before being ripped apart. I think the troll like grabs part of the water elemental, bites it, and the water elemental like flows down into the troll's throat and bursts out from the inside.
I think it like pulls the troll into the water as the troll is suffocated into unconsciousness. I don't roll a 1 the next round, so the water elemental returns to the surface, dragging this unconscious troll with it.
Yes. And you know the
so I
troll
think-
will regenerate starting in 3 rounds after it first takes damage. What are you going to do about this problem? Are you going to get rid of the elemental first, or are you going to disable the troll permanently or semi-permanently?
The troll will always come back, right? So that the elemental can like choke it to -10, and then it will.
Mm-hmm.
Can you choke it to like -100 and make it take like? Can you choke it to -1,000 and
You
make
could
it take
rip
like
it into tiny pieces, and then it would reform in a certain number of days or weeks, or I don't remember the exact time.
Mm-hmm.
But you could shred it to pieces, and then the largest piece will regenerate into the troll.
Okay. Well, so the third round, the elemental will resurface, dragging the troll. I think so. From the backtracking 2 minutes, like Devon and Asoy are in this raft on the surface, maybe 15 feet from this little pool. Devon is like channeling the water elemental, controlling it so that it doesn't turn on him. While Asoy is holding the pole and like keeping the raft level. The water elemental descends, and then I think we see like turbulence, like violent bubbles and splashing coming up from the underground chamber for a few minutes. Probably after the first minute, blood starts bubbling up in the water. Right, 21 points of damage is a fair bit of blood, right? That's like the blood from 1 or 2 adult humans, right? So the water runs red with blood.
Yeah, it's definitely changing colors as the troll is like floated to the surface by the wave, and then pushed by the wave towards the boat, and then
I
the
think
whole
the
boat
wave like
shifts.
And the wave rises, like holding the elemental. Devon commands it to hold steady, as he says, like maintaining concentration, but says to Asoy, "Cut out its heart." She have the will to remove the heart, the still beating heart, from a 2-headed troll.
I think so. I think
Did you roll anything,
Asoy.
or you just decided
is-
her
I think.
personality?
Yeah, we decided her personality when we were rolling for your apprentices, and Moth was the more mousy one who really would just serve better as a librarian or a sage or someone to like help you with research, and
this is-
Asoy was the eager one who was ready to like
All you've written
get
for
out
her
there.
alignment is sarcastic. Was there more personality traits, or is she just sarcastic?
I guess sarcastic and eager.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah. So you tell her to rip out the heart of the troll, And there's a little bit of timidness to it, but this is what she signed up for. She came to Necrot to study under Devon, the great sorcerer of the region. The great Devon, who's built these mines, built Shelter Bay, pays tributes to these deities who serve him, has a giant that's a cleric of Velthara that serves him somewhat. When he tells you to go rip out the heart of a troll, you go rip out the heart of a troll. And she will...
it's being held there at this... by the water elemental. That's probably become a blood elemental at this point.
She will make a dex check to try and get from the boat onto the troll.
I think she's on the boat. Like, the troll is brought to her, but like that's probably to like steady the boat.
As she like grabs the troll and tries to like hack it into the heart. And as long as you can maintain control of the elemental, she can do this. But it'll take a while. I don't know how long it takes to excise a heart.
9 minutes. This is the third. So we're looking at 6 more rounds. Let me roll my 60/20s. Whew. Okay, a 2 is close. The second round, probably a wave rocks my concentration. I almost lose grip of the elemental, but the elemental will stay under my control the entire time. How many rounds does it take her to cut out the troll's heart?
Let's see. I think she needs to roll a series of strength checks until a series of successful strength checks until they exceed their numbers by a combined 20 points. So like if she gets a 21, that's 1 point. If she gets a 30, that's 10 points.
It seems like a lot, but I guess we'll see.
Oh my god.
I can't see.
Is that a 1? That's a 20 and then a 1. Yeah.
Okay, so that was 12.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. Okay.
12 and 6 is 18.
So 12 and 18. Long time.
Did we say how many points did I say? 30?
30. Oh god. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our like last chance for the elemental disappears. She finally does it. And it's right on cue.
Yeah.
So she saws its heart out. And it's like, it almost, all the while, like, Devon's got to be concentrating, but he's like, can't you do this faster? Wishing he had given her more instruction on how to, like, cut through rib bones or, like, a rib cage before doing this. Because it's not that easy to cut out a creature's heart, especially, like, a large two-headed troll. You gotta, like, break your way through the sternum. Probably would have been easier to come up through the... Maybe she tries going through the sternum. I guess she got a 20 first, so she cracked the ribs, no problem.
Yeah, and trolls, despite their massive strength, are also sort of fragile and gangly. Their bones aren't particularly strong. They're much easier to, like, sever the limb of a troll than any other creature out there. So she can hack it and rip out its still beating heart.
As she pulls out the still beating heart, it's the same round that the water elemental dissipates. So like, which has become just like a wave of blood with 2 glowing blue eyes. But as she pulls out the beating heart, the life also leaves the water elemental, and the wave just kind of blood wave collapses into the brackish fen.
And she will make a dex check to stabilize on the boat. And she goes tumbling into the water, still holding the beating heart.
So Devon is done with his concentration at that point. So I think I should get a dex check as well to like stabilize the boat. I mean, sounds like she's probably
because when she falls out of the boat, it's going to throw the boat out of balance, and you'll have to also make a dex check, and you can do it.
Okay, so Devon like grabs the pole, stabilizes the boat, but a soy like collapses in overboard. Strength check or something to fish her back out of it. I mean, I can breathe underwater.
I don't think we need to make dice rolls for this. There's no omnipresent danger here. She can get back in the boat, or hold on to the edge and you can pull her to shore.
Probably better that she took a dip, because otherwise she was just covered in blood. She's probably still pretty bloody. And we fish the body of the troll out as well. Because I was planning to have the elemental dismember it, but it seems like that's not going to happen. So Devon takes like his own dagger and like stakes the troll to the raft.
There's someone at my door. Can we take a quick break here?
Are you sure that's not creaking from here?
I'm pretty sure.
Seems like a good spot to break. If we were more cinematic, we would have ended like right at the... But anyways.
See you guys on the other side.